This is Fluent Cares, our charity initiative our employees take part in every year. The goal each year is to aid those in need anywhere across the world. As we venture into our 6th year of Fluent Cares, we want to ensure that it is a memorable experience for those in need and those that volunteer. So please, sit back and watch our work in 2016. This is Fluent Cares in Vietnam. Vietnam. It is the easternmost country on the Indochina Peninsula in Southeast Asia. It is the world's 14th most populous country.
So we've been doing charity projects since 2011. We have done Honduras, Africa, Peru, Philippines, the States and Canada. We've done DR. And this year we decided to come to Vietnam.
I think Vietnam's not what you're expecting, you know. When we come here, at least in Ho Chi and Nha Trang, it reminds me of like a mini New York. It's absolutely beautiful. The beaches are great.
A lot of different things for different kinds of people. So we thought with our eclectic mix of people, we could really entertain everybody and do something that was maybe different than what we've done before.
However, the main focus is always the charity part. Fluent decided to partner with a local construction company to complete major renovation tasks at a local orphanage for young children and elderly men and women over the period of 4 days.
So this year for the charity project, we are helping out at a facility that houses orphans and then adults that might need a little bit extra care.
I think sometimes when we think of an orphanage, we think of only little children, but this orphanage was unique in that it housed about 100 to 150 elderly people that don't have any family, have no one to take care of them. So there was that side of the orphanage. There was the side of the orphanage that had the children that people could just come to the orphanage and drop them off. And so we had children from anywhere from 15 weeks old all the way up to 10, 12 years old.
The response to volunteer in Vietnam was much larger than years before. Fluent had more than 120 volunteers excited to fly overseas to be a part of the cause.
We had 80, we had 100, but this year, you know, people really bought into the project.
Especially flying all the way across the world. So it was way more than we were expecting.
As soon as we announced where we were going, showed pictures of, you know, the people we would be helping, our volunteer numbers skyrocketed. And it was one of our largest trips I've ever had, and it's been great having so many volunteers and such a good energy and so many hands. And you know, each day it was amazing walking into the project and just seeing how many people from Fluent were there giving up their time and, you know, their energy and just really getting to work.
One of the best things that can be said about Fluent employees is their eagerness to help one another. This year, their commitment really outshined any previous project. Not once to be shy of hard work, we spent 4 days tirelessly working at the orphanage to bring all their amenities up to a modern standard.
An American company came and built the buildings. Really no renovations had been done since 1978.
We joined forces with a construction company, and so we were able to have our labor. We had a project manager, so it went a lot more efficient than the past, and I feel we got a lot more accomplished because of it.
There were 3 main categories that projects were divided into: landscaping, renovation, and installation. Every project required undivided attention, and every project met its 4-day goal.
So we split our group of 120 people into 16 different projects. We did everything from renovating bathrooms to renovating kitchens to painting to landscaping.
When they brought one of the groups to go do the landscaping, I thought they were first kidding because it was just full of junk and garbage, and there were snakes in the grass, and I thought it was just a little section that they wanted, so I'm like, okay, we can get this little section done. After working on it for 2 days straight, we actually cleared the entire grounds all the way around. It was a breeding ground for mosquitoes, and they wanted to get it all cleaned up.
However, there is never a project that gets completed without a few hiccups along the way. Sometimes projects that were almost completed need to be restarted from scratch, and some projects ran a lot longer than their time was allowed for.
There's always a communication breakdown, right? And so,
You know, we were set to go home at 5 o'clock each day, and right when the bus got there to take everybody home, a full cement truck rolls up to the project. You know, we couldn't leave the cement in the truck, so there was a large number of people that said, you know what, bus, leave without me. I'm going to stay here and finish out this concrete.
the first group that stayed behind ended up continuing to work, and they put in at least a 12-hour workday that day.
It was great seeing because, you know, the group, they could have left and gone home and gone sightseeing. I'm sure they were all hungry by that point, but they all decided to stay, and it was a great energy. And it was hard work, and to see them do that and give up kind of the short amount of free time that they have while they're here to make sure that project got done was great to see and be a part of.
Needless to say, with the amount of volunteers that came to this project, no task given was too overwhelming. It was the determination, dedication, and consistent effort that made every task given a success. With the labor behind us, we now had the opportunity to spend it with a group that would benefit the most. Our charity initiative have always been for the children. It's always a memorable time when we finally get to interact with them. Nothing is more worthwhile than getting to spend time with the kids and seeing how happy they are that we were here to help.
The charity trip is my favorite thing about Fluent. No matter how many trips we do or countries that we visit, it's never something that you can get used to or that has any less of an impact.
It really pulls us together as a group. You know, the company's just spread out between 2 countries and spread out within the countries, and so people don't get to see each other.
So I think that charity work, any philanthropy work, will keep you grounded. It'll remind you what's important. It'll remind you maybe who you are, and that you don't get lost in just making money and having fun and being with friends.
I feel it makes us all remember how blessed we are and how we're so lucky to have what we have. And when we come back and we really, spend a couple days trying to give back to those that really, really need it, it's a very humbling experience and resets all of us.
The time in Vietnam was time well spent. Charity projects give a lot of employees the opportunity to finally meet each other. There is so much about Fluent that we are proud of, and that sets us apart. But the most important and memorable part of our culture and our people is our giving attitude. Fluent Cares charity projects are more than just a yearly tradition. They're an expression of our employees and leaders' vision of the company. Giving back is part of who we are, and we're proud and humbled to be able to help the unique and diverse individuals that we have.